Hello everyone. In the SYBSc paper first, we are studying the volumetric analysis. In this chapter, we are studying the different types of the titrimetric analysis or titrations. So the third type, it is the redox titration. So in the last lecture, we have studied the neutralization titrations, and the second is the complexometric titrations. And the next two remaining are the redox titration and the precipitation titration. Now let us start with the redox titrations. Now we know that redox means it is the simultaneous process of spontaneous oxidation reduction. It is called as the redox reactions. So in the redox reaction, oxidation as well as the reduction takes place. We know that the oxidation is the process that involves the loss of electrons. It is called as the oxidation, and reduction is nothing but the gain of electron or acceptance of the electron. So if simultaneously there is loss and gain of the electron occurs in the solution or in the two different solution, then this redox type of reaction occurs. Now this type of the titration can be studied with the reducing agent and the oxidizing agent. So when reducing agent react with the oxidizing agent, so this simultaneously transfer of the electron takes place, that is oxidation as well as reduction takes place. So when we consider the redox reaction, so oxidizing agents are used and reducing agents are also used. So these oxidizing agents are the substances or the compounds that will oxidizes the another compound. That is, they will accept the electrons or forces another compound to lose electrons. It is called as the oxidizing agent. Now second is the reducing agent. So reducing agent are the compounds that will forces another compound to reduce, or itself it will undergo the oxidation, or it will loses the electron. So this is called as the oxidizing agent. Now number of the oxidizing and reducing agent we have already studied in the introductory part. So in that case, the electron rich species withdrawing group containing compound, generally the KMnO4, potassium dichromate, ozone, potassium bromate, potassium iodide, these type of the compounds are act as this oxidizing agent. And the lithium aluminum hydride, sodium borohydride and hydride donating agents, these are act as the reducing agent. Now let us see how the reaction takes place between the oxidizing agent and the reducing agent. So in this type of reaction or in this type of the titration, one substance or the solution, it may be oxidizing agent or it may be reducing agent, it is filled in the burette and another is taken in the conical flask. So in this case, if we study this titration or the reaction example, so oxidizing agent is taken in the burette and the reducing agent, it may be taken in the conical flask. And further, if we add the dropwise the oxidizing agent to the reducing agent, then slowly reaction occurs, transfer of the electrons occurs, and at the end point there is reaction will get completed and the change in the color is observed. So at the particular value where the oxidation state of the corresponding element, it will shows the change in color or stable oxidation state can be achieved. So that will be the end point of the titration. Now first consider this type of reaction. If we take the zinc metal in the copper sulfate solution, so in that case what happens, zinc having the zero oxidation state because it is present in the metallic form. Here we can see this cell reaction. So if rod of the zinc metal is taken in the copper sulfate solution, then what happens, these copper ions which are present in this copper sulfate solution, that having the +2 oxidation state, this copper having the +2 oxidation state. So when these ion get combined, so zinc is present in the metallic form. So copper, it will get reduced from the +2 oxidation state to 0 oxidation state, and the zinc having the 0 oxidation state, it will get oxidized to higher oxidation state. So in oxidation, generally oxidation state of the element, that is dependent upon the valency, it will increases, and in reduction the oxidation state will goes on decreasing. So in this case what happens, this zinc, it will gives the electron, this zinc will gives the electron to copper. So what happens, this copper, it will get reduced. So there is loss of the electron from the zinc, so zinc will get oxidized, and copper will gain the electron, will accept the electron from the zinc, so it will get oxidized here. So in this case, copper get reduced and zinc will get oxidized. So in this type of the reaction, separately you can show this. We can write this cell reaction as copper +2 oxidation state. So the zinc in 0 oxidation state, it will use the 2 electrons and it will get converted into zinc +2. Now these 2 electrons, these are accepted by the Cu +2. So it will accept the electrons, gain of the electrons is nothing but the reduction. So this copper will get reduced to 0 oxidation state. So copper will get reduced and zinc will get oxidized. So zinc itself get oxidized, that means it acts as the reducing agent, and this copper itself get reduced, that means it will act as the oxidizing agent, and the zinc itself, it will get oxidized, so it acts as the reducing agent. So there is reverse process takes place. Generally oxidizing agent will gains the electron. Here this copper +2 gains electron, so act as the oxidizing agent. Zinc will loses the electron, so act as the reducing agent. Now this is the simple example for the oxidation reduction reaction. So in this type of the titration, so oxidizing agent is titrated with the reducing agent. Now different types of the indicators are used for this titration. So generally the important indicators which are usually used, these are potassium permanganate and the potassium dichromate. So this potassium permanganate compound, it is found to be strong oxidizing agent, and this potassium dichromate, it also acts as the strong oxidizing agent, but there are some differences between these two compounds. Here in the KMnO4, we know that it is purple in color and it acts as the self indicator because it is strong oxidizing agent, and it will shows the color change after certain change in the oxidation state. So when in solution KMnO4 is present, that is MnO4 minus ions are present. So K having the positive charge, if we remove this K plus, MnO4 minus ion will exist in the solution. So when it is present in the solution or aqueous medium, then what happens? It will loses the electron. It will, here the oxidation state for the manganese is given. Manganese in MnO4, it is nearly 7 oxidation state. It having the 7 oxidation state, and it is get converted into +2 oxidation state. So when there is change occurs, so this reduction occurs, +7 to +2. So it will act as the oxidizing agent itself. It will undergo the reduction. So in this case, it acts as the oxidizing agent. The oxidation state will get changed from +7 to +2. So this is the reduction process occurs. And after this formation of Mn+2 ions, what happens? This MnO4 ions or Mn in 7 oxidation state, it having purple color. but when it is reduced to Mn+2, these are colorless. This ion is colorless or it is very faint pink in color. So there is change in the color occurs, and due to change in color at this point, the end point of the titration can be indicated. So this KMnO4, it is very strong oxidizing agent and act as the self indicator. But in this some cases, instead of the KMnO4, this potassium dichromate generally used. This because this KMnO4, it is found to be a secondary standard substance. We know that secondary standard substance cannot be used directly. They are less stable. They cannot be used directly. First they have to standardize with the another substances, another pure, or it will not exist in the pure form. So as it is not existing in the pure form, it is first standardized by titrating with the another primary standard solution, primary standard substances, and then its exact concentration is determined, and then after it is used for this redox titration. So this is the drawback. On the other hand, the another indicator we can use here is the potassium dichromate. So it is orange color solid compound, it is somewhat stable, and it is a primary standard substance because it will exist in the pure form. So by direct method we can synthesize, we can prepare the solution, we can easily prepare the solution of potassium dichromate, which is primary standard, and it can be easily used in the titration. So it is not necessary to standardize this potassium dichromate. So this dichromate having the advantages over the KMnO4 as it is primary standard solution. Now this potassium dichromate, it is used in many titration as an indicator. So it contains this chromate ion, this Cr+3 ions. Now here this chromate ion, it is get converted into +3 oxidation state. So chromium, when it is present in the +3 oxidation state, it is stable and it will use the green color. So when we are titrating, we can carry out the titration with the potassium dichromate, it will act as the indicator, and the color change can be indicated by stable oxidation state, that is +3, it will shows the green color. So by using this compound, we can detect the end point of this titration. Now different types of the further indicators can be used for this redox type of the titration. It is N-phenylanthranilic acid is there, then sodium diphenylamine sulfonate, 1,10-phenanthroline compound, and diphenylamine. So this type of different indicators are used in the redox titration. Now let us see the application of this redox titration. So in the determination of the strength of the H2O2, we know that the H2O2 is peroxide compound, and we want to find the exact normality, or in order to determine the strength of the hydrogen peroxide, we can use this type of the method, that is the redox titration. And in this method we can use the KMnO4 as the indicator, will act as the self indicator. So let us see this titration, how this titration can be carried out. So in order to determine the strength of the H2O2, we can use this compound KMnO4. So KMnO4 is titrated with the H2O solution. So when the KMnO4 solution whose exact concentration is known, or which is standardized one, standardization or standard compound means whose concentration is exactly known. So when the KMnO4 having the exact known concentration can be titrated with the unknown concentration of the H2O2 sample. So from this titration we can determine the strength of the H2O2, because the concentration and volume of the KMnO4 is known exact, and the volume but concentration of the H2O2 is not known. So we can put the formula, put this N1V1 equals to N2V2. So when volume can be taken. Volume are known for the both compounds, both solutions. But if the normality or exact concentration of one compound is known only, we can determine the concentration of the another compound. So this is the titration method where we can determine the strength of H2O2 by titrating with KMnO4. But we know that the KMnO4, it is the secondary standard substance. So we cannot use directly for the titration. First, we have to standardize this KMnO4 with the primary standard solutions, so that at the start of titration or for the titration with the H2O2, the exact concentration of the KMnO4 is known. So in order to get this exact concentration, we have to titrate it with the substance like oxalic acid. Oxalic acid is the primary standard substance. So KMnO4, it is first titrated with the oxalic acid. So in this titration, oxalic acid whose concentration is known, because it is the primary standard, we can prepare the solution of the oxalic acid of the known concentration. So it is filled in the burette and the KMnO4 is taken in the conical flask, and the titration is carried out between the oxalic acid, which is dropwise added from the burette, with the KMnO4 which is present in the conical flask. So after this titration, according to formula N1V1 equals to N2V2, we will get the exact normality of this KMnO4. So this is called as the standardization of the KMnO4. So this is part A for the titration. So first we will standardize this KMnO4 with the primary standard, and then in second part we can use this standard KMnO4 with the H2O2. Now how it is titrated? So the substance whose concentration is known, generally we are filling in the burette. So KMnO4, now the exact normality is known. It is filled in the burette and conical flask. Your conical flask should contain the hydrogen peroxide solution, and this KMnO4 is dropwise added into conical flask. There is no adding of any indicator. It is not necessary, because this KMnO4 acts as the self indicator. So there is change in the color observed from the purple to faint pink in color or colorless. So in this titration, that will be the end point of the titration. So we can record this value, we can put this value into equation, we can determine the exact concentration and further the strength of the H2O2. So this is one of the example for the redox titration. So this is the redox titration, third type of the titration. We will stop here, and in the next lecture we will study the last point, that is the precipitation titration from volumetric analysis. Thank you.